Okay, Frank Bernardo here for The Scrap. Welcome to episode 1 of the Land of the Dragons series, in which we're going to be taking a closer look at some of Wales's brightest upcoming MMA prospects. With me today is Cory McKenna, Wales's first ever female UFC fighter. How are you doing, Cory?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So, of course, you're coming off this super impressive UFC debut over Kay Hansen, which is, incredibly impressive by itself. But I want to go back and ask you what was the moment, or what started you on this path that's led to you becoming the first female Welsh fighter in the UFC. What was your first experience with martial arts?
So I started karate when I was about 10.
Bit of like a hobby and a pastime. Sorry, Jack's finally getting back to me.
Yeah, so I just started it as a bit of a hobby when I was about 10. I went down to the local karate gym and gave that a go, started competing in that regularly. And then kind of just tried my hand at the jiu-jitsu, the boxing, the Muay Thai that was also going on at the gym, like shortly afterwards. And then I was kind of doing everything anyway. So when I was about 13, I decided to go to BKK Fighters, which was the local MMA gym. Had a lot of high-level fighters at it. So I went down there and kind of just stuck with it, really.
So from there, when was your first amateur competition of sorts, be it MMA or Muay Thai or whatever?
So my first fight, sorry.
No worries.
Jack thinks I'm not on it yet. So my first fight, I competed karate regularly around the age, from about 10 to 12, and then started doing jiu-jitsu competitions. My first Muay Thai fight, official fight, was, I think I was 14. I did a couple of interclubs and stuff, but when I was 14, I had my first proper Muay Thai fight. So that was, funny enough, that was actually for a junior British title. My Thai boxing coach at the time lied about my record so that he could get me a good fight, which kind of threw me straight in at the deep end. And then I made my amateur MMA debut when I was 15.
Okay. Was that with BCMMA?
That was BCMMA. So Jack actually runs that show, which was very convenient, obviously, for me. Being so young, obviously, having him kind of able to sort it out and make sure everything went smoothly was very, very useful.
And then from there, your amateur career, I believe 7 wins, 0 losses. Just tell us how much did you evolve during those 7 fights?
Yeah, I think people are having a lot more amateur experience these days, especially given I feel like there's a lot of amateurs out there now that are training like professional athletes. The amateur kind of seen as just as competitive as the professional, especially just in this day and age, with how the sport's developing. 7 amateurs is quite a lot for a woman. If you look at the pathology and everything, most of the women that are in the UFC and stuff now, they've had 1 or 2. So I really think it paid dividends for myself. So I got a lot of experience. I competed at different weight classes. I fought all kind of different styles, different sizes. I got to feel out everything, and I really got to kind of test myself against. I was testing myself against the top level at the end of the day. We were, because I was obviously too young to do the IMF and everything. So what we would do is we'd look at the rankings. I'd be like, right, I want the number 1 girl. I want the gold medalist. If she said no, we tried to silver medalist. So I was trying to get the best in the world. And luckily, with Jack running BCMA, we were able to kind of not hand select in a way of hand aggression, but we were hand selecting opponents to make sure that I was testing myself and that I was very well prepared for when I do decide to turn pro. So I think it was a very great experience for myself, and it really kind of obviously played a large part in my development as an athlete.
So then you get that 7th win, and then after that, it's it's the start of your professional career with Cage Warriors. What's it like? What was it like at that first ever fight, walking out? Just your emotions during the build up, and then stepping into that cage, looking across and seeing your opponent for the first time, knowing this is my first professional fight?
To be honest, it felt the same as any other fight, because I think especially being so young, like it's like I didn't really, I was kind of like enjoying myself. But the way I saw it is like I've been there so many times before, professional or amateur. Like you say, I feel like these days, especially competing on Jack's show, like so, like he ran it so that, and he still does, so that the amateurs get that professional feel. Like we don't do the old like same day weigh-in for amateurs. It was always, you know, day before weigh-in for amateurs. You're treated the same backstage. You've got the lights, you've got the cameras. So it really, like, he really puts an emphasis on preparing people for, like, it really is good for that step up to professional level. Like, you know, so I'd already tasted all that in a sense. So I knew what to expect. I knew that I'd been there before. So for me, it was pretty relaxed. My professional debut was actually like delayed because I got injured. Like I was meant to turn professional, like to have my pro debut on the November the year before that on a show, and then it got pushed back because I like tore the ligament in my elbow. So by the time I got there, I was kind of like, okay, like about time, like, you know, I've been waiting for this. So there was no real differences for me. If anything, I was more eager to get out there and get it done.
Right. It almost sounds like BCMMA is serving as what Cage Warriors does to the UFC. It almost is like a feeder to like prepare professional athletes for when they take that step up in their career. Do you think it's something like that?
Yeah, well, it's now actually a Cage Warriors Academy show, so that is literally what it is. It is a literal feeder for Cage Warriors now. So the academy shows feed the amateurs into Cage Warriors, which is the European big show, and then they feed you into the UFC. It's kind of all works very well. Like, you know, each offer a great platform, and they're all very well run shows, obviously. So like I say, I was very fortunate to have that quite so easily accessible for myself.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you get your first Cage Warriors victory, first professional win. Pick up another, but then you do hit the first hurdle in your career with the split decision loss to Desegni, I believe. Split decision. What are your emotions coming away? How did you deal with that? Like, you know, some athletes take their first loss really badly. Some just bounce away and say, "Oh, I'm just going to get better." How did you go away, and how did you get yourself into a position where you could come back even stronger?
So I'm a very competitive individual, like with everything in my life, obviously. So for me, yeah, it was hard. Like I said, I'm never obviously happy to accept like a loss. Like, so like even at the age of like 12, you know, I'm doing jiu-jitsu competitions. If I got the silver medal, it was you know, it's chucked straight to the side. I'm like, nope, I lost. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm a very competitive person. I'm known for being very hard on myself. You know, like, I never beat, you know, it doesn't discourage me, but it just motivates me to, like, say, be better. Like, I get very competitive. I'm very much like, you know, I get hard on myself. Like, I sparred on Tuesday. It was my first sparring session back, and the guys are all grilling me because they're like telling me off for being so hard on myself, and I'm there going, no, I sparred terribly. Like, my you know, my tempo's off, my rhythm's off. Like, and I was just being really hard on myself and critiquing myself. But I think that's kind of what, you know, what's going to push me to that higher level anyway, is my ability to self-critique and, you know, not take those losses. Like I've known people that have, you know, scraped wins or like, you know, barely lost, and they've gone, oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Like it does matter. Like and you know, it did you say, like, it obviously upset me quite a bit. But like, yeah, it just motivated me to be better. Like, I think that Sunday, I want to say I spent 5 or 6 hours straight watching the fight. I counted every single punch that was thrown. I did like tally charts. I did breakdowns. Like I was sending Jack, like, you know, like my training schedule and where I was going to change stuff. I obsessed over it. I gave myself a day to like obsess over it, beat myself up, and then I think it was my mom and dad were like, right, turn off the TV. Like, you're done watching this. You know, and then I was back in the gym on Monday. I had no injuries. I've been pretty lucky in that regard up until my last fight. You know, I never had an injury. I never even had like a black eye or anything. You know, so I've been pretty lucky in that regard. You know, so like say it's the same as every other fight. I was straight back in the gym Monday, and I was just, you know, told myself, I was like, it's unacceptable. Got to get in there, get working, not to let it discourage me. Just gonna make sure I'm improving and not let it happen again, sort of thing. So yeah, it was tough, but I wasn't gonna let it unmotivate me. Like you say, too many people kind of if they believe their own hype, they jump on that hype train and they kind of let it derail them if they take a loss. But I'm not gonna, I wasn't gonna let myself be that one of those people. So yeah, just use it to motivate myself.
Well, I think your next two results in Cage Warriors proved that sort of change of motivation, it worked for you. It was 2 finishes, I believe, and then a Dana White Contender Series call up. Yeah, following, well, obviously you got those 2 wins for the bounce back. After that second win, are you like anticipating a potential call up to the UFC or well, the Contender Series at that point, or were you thinking I'll just continue my Cage Warriors run right now?
It was already in discussion with Uriah. Obviously, things were a bit strange because of COVID, and I had like fights booked. I actually had a fight booked for the March against Lantana Green. Okay. And around the time that I signed that contract, Uriah started kind of, dropping hints and making comments and stuff about it. So I think what we said was when I first signed that fight, it was going to be on the same weekend as the UFC London, so they were actually going to come and watch me. But then it got pushed back to I think April, and then it got cancelled because of COVID, and then all that stuff happened. So that whole plan went out the window. But then Uriah was kind of still, on at Mick Maynard. He was still saying, look, like, she deserves to be there. So yeah, like they were on Fight Island, talking as they do, and then decided that it would be fun to give me 3 weeks notice to get a visa and fly on out to Vegas. So yeah, it was a stressful kind of like period of time. Like we didn't know if it was going to happen. Literally like even the day I was meant to fly, like the night before I was meant to fly, like I was talking to Jack on the phone and he was like, I don't know if this is going to happen. Like I literally picked my visa up, drove straight to the airport. My parents met me at the airport, threw me a bag of clothes and went, see you later. And then I moved to America. So it was a bit chaotic, but we got it done, and yeah, obviously paid off. So
yeah, clearly. Well, you just alluded to you started training with Uriah Faber, and is it with all of Team Alpha Male? Is that your gym right now?
Yeah.
So when did you guys start working together?
So I first came out to when I was younger, our family holidays were kind of orientated around me trying different gyms. So on one of the trips, I tried Team Alpha Male. I think I did 5 days at the old gym. I didn't actually meet Uriah. He was filming one of the toughs at the time. But yes, so then I really enjoyed the gym. I liked the coaches, got along well with the team. So I kind of chose this to be my camp as such, because like I said, I was meant to turn pro when I was 18. So for my 18th birthday, my parents basically funded a training camp for me. So I came out here for it was meant to be 9 weeks. It got cut short. As I say, I got injured. But yeah, so I came out here when I was like 17. I met Uriah. I got, I was training hard. I think I got injured on it. It was like my 5th session of the day, and Uriah loves people that kind of like just are always in the gym and train hard. So naturally, like we kind of, we clicked over that. We bonded together. And then the next couple of times I came out, he let me stay at his house, so I didn't have to stay in the fight house. We just kind of, like I said, developed our kind of like student coach relationship through that. We got quite close. We're very similar people and stuff. So he's pretty cool. Like I say, he goes out of his way for me a lot. He really puts a lot of time and effort into me. So again, I'm very fortunate to have that side of things. But I've been coming out 3 months on, 3 months off for the past, I think, 3 years now. And then I finally obviously got my visa with the Contender Series call up. So I moved out here for at least the 3 years of my visa.
How are you finding it in America at the moment then?
Like I said, I'm loving it. Obviously, it's not ideal because I'm injured at the moment, but there's definitely worse places to be stuck with a bum ankle. So I'm fortunate the gym's still open, which I know obviously you guys are having trouble with back home. Like I said, I've got the gym facility. I'm doing what I can around it. I'm still getting on the mat now, and I've got the coaches doing what they can with me. So I'm very lucky, and I think I've kind of developed some very good relationships and friendships here. So so I'm really enjoying it, and I feel very fortunate.
That's great. So yeah, let's talk UFC debut, I suppose. That Dana White Contender Series, you pick up the decision victory, and you find out you're going to be matched up with Kay Hansen, who in herself is definitely a bright prospect for the future as well. What were your thoughts when you were matched up with her? You found out you're going to be fighting her.
We thought it was a great fight. Obviously, like you say, two young prospects. I don't think you see. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen anyway. Like, I don't think we see it very often in the UFC. Like when they offered it, we were all a bit like, oh, that's kind of different. Like, so they normally put like, you know, the young prospect in there with like kind of an old veteran or someone that's on the way out to build them. So like from their standpoint, like it seemed a bit strange. Like, so like they're sticking two prospects together, and but I also think it was a good time for both of us. Like, say we're both early in our careers. It was gonna be an exciting fight. Like, you know, I know it's close, but I think that was to be expected. Like when you're at that level, and you know you've got two high level or like two hardworking people, like it's your game of inches, as they say. So you know, we knew it wasn't going to be like, you know, a dominant like mauling and everything. I definitely think I could have done better. I think I could have finished it, but you know, I'm done beating myself up over that one. I'm getting back in and doing it again and doing it better. But yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough fight. And the way we sort of, like they say, it wasn't make or break for either of us. Like, she's going to go on to achieve great things. You know, I'm going to keep continuing my career, and then there's even a chance, you know, potentially a couple of years down the line we meet again. So yeah, so we thought it was a good fight. Like, say a good one to kind of. I think it developed a lot of hype, but there's a lot of eyes on it, and it kind of, like I say, it threw me straight in there in the mix. So yeah, it was a good fight.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like you say, one of the good things of it building up was two prospects, and definitely from a fan perspective, you almost had a UK versus American almost war going on the Twitter and social media and all that. So yeah, it gave a great viewing. But like you say, you've picked up a bit of an injury for now. And wait, how long are you going to be out for at the moment? Do you know yet? Wow.
So I think I'm 3 or 4 months post surgery now. So I'm back starting to ease into the jogging. Like I can lift fine with both legs now. I'm starting to lift big with that. I can box. Like I said, I had my first boxing sparring this week. It's still not like it's not 100%. I can't kick, I can't grapple, but I'm easing back into it. I'm really hopeful that in the next month or two I'll be back like full. But I wanted 2 fights. I think I'm going to aim for 1. I don't want to rush back in there. Like you say, like the thing with me is like the hard part is getting there. Like now I'm there. I don't want to rush. I don't want to like put myself in a situation. And I definitely don't want to re-injure it. So but for me, it's going to be a case of make sure I'm back 100% sparring like for at least a month or 2 before I even consider getting a fight. So I want to make sure I'm 100% when I go in there. I want to make sure that I can put on a performance without having to worry about, you know, whether I'm going to tweak my ankle or whether I'm going to set myself back. And so I think I'll probably be looking to fight later in the year, after summer, worst case, like November time again. Kind of sucks, but it's not, you know, I'm not the oldest, so I can definitely afford to wait a little bit and be patient, which is something I'm starting to learn. Or at least I've got these guys, at least these guys are telling me. I'm pretending to be smart, but it's 100% everybody else whispering in my ear every day, like, chill out. Faber actually texted me yesterday saying, I saw you sparring your butt off, you need to chill out. I'm like, okay. So yeah, they're keeping me smart. I'm not smart. They're keeping me smart.
Yeah, well, that's the advantage of having veterans like Faber in your gym, I imagine. Yeah. So, well, okay, if you're aiming for 1 fight, is there any names out there? I know you're probably sick of being asked it or whatnot, but is there anyone that you'd actually be interested in?
So I'm obviously, I always say I'm happy to fight anybody. I'm like genuinely am. There's so many girls in the division to fight. I'd kind of like want to like say they match up a lot, like the prospects who like the older veterans or the people that've been in the game more. I know a lot of the women are already matched up to fight, so obviously like that makes slim pickings. But just like someone mentioned the other day, Felice Herrig's just coming back off of a knee surgery. You know, she got cleared to hit the bag, I think the same day I got cleared to hit the bag. So it's kind of like it lines up pretty well. And she's been around in the game. Like a lot of people know her. She's got a big following. So I mean that's that would be a cool fight. Like, but like I say, it's not like it's something personal. It's just like I think it's ideal. Like say like someone, I'm coming off an injury, she's coming off an injury. Like our timelines look similar. I'd like a name that kind of people know. Like say like Kay Hansen was cool because like she was kind of like a hot prospect. Like she was kind of that. She was, you know, everyone was talking about her and everything. Now I'd kind of like a name of someone that's kind of cemented themselves in the UFC, or at least been around long enough for me to kind of show that I do belong in there. You know, not just another new prospect to people. Just to kind of you know, cement my position essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, someone like that, someone that's been in there for many years. That would be pretty cool.
So essentially a gatekeeper fight, someone to put your name out there and yeah. Okay, well that's almost everything I got for you. But how long do you think? I mean, I presume you've mentioned your sort of competitive mentality. How long before you get into that top 5, that upper echelon? Do you like, when do you see yourself getting into that sort of region?
So I am trying to, you know, I'm very competitive. I'm also very aware of how many women there are in the division, and also like I feel like I can fight most of the women in the division and be very comfortable and happy with that fight. But I'm also aware that like I'm very young. I got a long career ahead of myself, so I'm not in a rush. I kind of want to, you know, work my way up, nice and slow, steady. Because at the end of the day, if I go throw myself up in that top 5 in the next year or so, like yes, I think I could hold my own, but also like I'm gonna run out of fights. You know, I got at least another 10 years in this game, so I'm very happy to just be patient and take each fight as they come. Like I said, I've sparred with girls in the top 10, top 5, and I definitely think I hold my own. So I'm not like say afraid to jump. I'd jump in there in my next fight, you know. But I do think I need to like be smart, take myself like, you know, take it as a business and kind of just take it one step at a time. But that's also why I have a manager, because he stops me doing stupid stuff like that. So.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Cory. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Well, would you like to give any shout outs, call outs to any of your sponsors or managers or whatever?
Yeah, you know, I've got Franklin Group. They help me out a lot financially. You know, it's expensive living, especially now that I'm finally out of home and away from the bank and mum and dad. So that helps me out a lot. You know, it's a lot of people don't really see that side of things. You know, like training's expensive, eating's expensive, living's expensive. You know, they think we're all balling because they see Conor McGregor, but we're not. So you know, I really appreciate Franklin for their help. Tatami Fightwear, the best fightwear in the game. I literally live in their kit. So again, big thank you to them, and Q&T Sports for the supplements and everything. Like I say, it helps me out a lot. So
awesome. Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Cory, and best of luck in your next fight.
Thank you.
Thank you.